I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
Imagine if an SJW got a hold of this stream right now. Oh my, we would be blacklisted.
We're canceled. We're canceled.
Of course, yeah. If Kenobi's a jumbled mess like that, a lot of fans are. It's not going to be good.
The guy with the guy in the cloak with the hood. You know
Again, a lot of people, a lot of people are really mad about that, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the final stream of 2022. It kind of hurts to say. It's been such an incredible year. The channel has grown so much. I've met so many awesome people. I see the chat clapping off already. Just, I think this is going to be a very interesting stream. I think you guys are going to be very happy. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, my good buddy, Grand Moff Rissman. But we have another special guest tonight. Somebody you may have seen around on the internet. The queen of mean, Nicky Nicky herself.
Oh, she's here! Oh, you got her with the.
Yes, I joined right on time.
Wow.
As usual.
That's late, man. Welcome, guys, to the stream. I can't believe this is the last one of 2022.
Thank God.
Fucking God.
There we go.
And it's gonna be a solo stream, everybody.
Look at Nikki's got the saddest, tiredest little Christmas tree. Is that a Christmas tree? What is
To
that?
be fair, that's not my real tree. My real tree is behind
Okay, good.
over there. This is like something I got when I worked a desk job like a few years
It
ago.
looks like pipe cleaners.
Dude, it's me after this year.
Oh no.
Shriveled and dry.
Basically. I'll keep it at that. I'll keep it at that.
Wow.
All right. Well, hello everybody in the chat. I hope you guys are doing well. John Graber's here, Andy P's here, Devil Actual's here, Sam Aon's here, Yaddy's here, Johnny Wingate is here, Star Wars Mansplained is here, Zombie Box Reviews. I think I said Devil Actual already. John Graber, the space jockey. Good to see you, my friend. K or G, I can never remember. I'm going through Ronnie, of course. Jay Oliver, finally making one of the streams. Good to see you here, buddy. Glad to have you. Daisy Blossom, as always, good to see you. Darth Maximus is here. You're already here. Salty Inferno.
No, it's
Felicity.
It's Felicity.
Is that Felicity? Okay, perfect.
My other queen of mean.
Darth Wizzy is here. Good to see you. Nightbot, as always, just an absolute joy to have you here. Nova Vaughn is here. Resolute Rebellion. I thought you were a member already.
No, I think he might have upgraded. He's a veteran ace now.
Oh, you're a veteran ace now, huh? Big boy playing with big boy toys.
Uh-huh.
I can't find it. Where is it? There we go.
Thank you.
Please don't donate to the channel. Every time you do, I have to kill a youngling. Okay. So, this is going to be the year in review stream. 2022.
What a year indeed.
The year of Star Wars, as so many affectionately referred it to. At the end
year
of
of trash
2021.
Star Wars. This is the year that I lost any faith I had left, which was like a mustard seed. You know what the Bible says about mustard seeds? It wasn't enough this time. Kenobi came and freaking stomped on that mustard seed and said,
Hey,
fuck you.
you're getting ahead of it. We have to start where we started.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett.
Oh God!
So,
is that really the first? Was there nothing?
Was
before
it?
that?
Yeah.
that was the beginning.
Oh.
Unless, because Visions
Damn.
came at the end of 21, right? So, yeah. So we start out with the Book of Boba Fett, which was
Trash.
Look, I remember when that show started.
You were
the
shilling
first
for
two
it.
episodes. I was like, dude, I think this is gonna be good. I'm like, guys, just give it time. I'm telling you. I did the classic, like, let's wait until we see the whole thing, which I've since learned is the dumbest thing you can say.
I was the excommunicated fan, right? Because I hated it from the first
From
15
Jump Street.
minutes. I
Yeah.
hated it. Fuck you, blah blah blah. But by the third episode, who was right? Who was right?
As soon as those hover bikes came out, I'm like, game over.
Hated it. Still hate it.
It's garbage.
Zombie
there's
Box Reviews with the €2 super sticker. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Moni G is here. Good to see you. Yeah, see, look.
This
was
is how you
fun.
do a show.
This is one of the highlights of it, but this is a Star Wars stream, right? So we're going to have to take our vitamins. We got to chug through this. Looks like you've got a crush in the chat. Nikki
Nah,
Rolls.
That's mansplained. That's mansplained.
You guys are cool too. I appreciate that. $10. I appreciate that a lot. James Kling. Hey, X-Wing, Moff Rissman, and Nicky Nicky. One of the best Star Wars channels. Love all your content and streams. I appreciate you guys so much.
It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be.
God,
You guys don't have to super chat here. I really appreciate it, but that is not a requirement. But thank you for being here. So, Book of Boba Fett started off by taking a legacy character and, in my mind, Disneyfying the shit out of him. I mean,
You can't really call him a legacy character, right? Because
I
in
consider him
the
he's a legacy
canon,
character.
he had one small bit of cool business in Empire Strikes Back, and then he died like a bitch in Return of the Jedi, right? Or it seemed to.
I really
Seemed
don't
to.
miss talking Boba Fett with you at all, dude.
He did that like a bitch. What the hell? He got yeeted by a blind Han Solo. It was made
Yeah.
to be comedy.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
but
because
it was
George
so
Lucas,
deeply
George
rooted
Lucas
in
thought he
so
was
many
a
other
bitch,
stories.
right? So he put him in the Sarlaac, right? I mean, George Lucas, right? Everyone, George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Shut up, Matt.
Boba Fett.
I think he was at the bar before he came to the stream. Like,
It's
almost guaranteed.
true.
I'm catching up to him. It's all
True.
good. It's all good.
So
Yeah, I was
overall,
out. Fuck that.
overall thoughts, impressions. How are we feeling about it? Because actually, here before I do that, oh my god, I forgot they called him this. God, that pissed me off. Let's share this beautiful article from StarWars.com, where everything is sunshine and rainbows. Disney opened the Book of Boba Fett to start the year. The year kicked off with our new favorite crime lord, the daimyo of Mos Espa himself.
Crime Lord.
Yeah, he's a daimyo. Remember?
Except by the end of the series, he didn't really want to be the daimyo.
Yeah.
Right? So they managed to ruin how many things? Can we recount how many things they ruined in the Book of Boba Fett? Or do you not want me to?
Hold on. Let's do that because I do want to go out. But this next sentence is my favorite thing in the world. The Book of Boba Fett chronicled his harrowing journey of self-discovery.
That's cringe. Who wrote this
It
shit?
was harrowing, all right.
It's StarWars.com, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
I just-
The Book of Baba Booey.
I just can't.
Baby Fett.
I just
Oh my
can't with
God.
Book of Boba Fett. I just
It feels like, you know what, Boba Fett and Kenobi feel like fever dreams to me. Like if I focus really hard, maybe I remember like pieces of the shows, but I just remember watching that crap. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This feels weird. Didn't feel right. felt
I have to give them credit though. I do have to give Lucasfilm credit for
What?
Book of Boba Fett because John Favreau, God bless him, right? He managed to ruin not only Boba Fett, right, but totally diminish 2 seasons of The Mandalorian.
That is true.
By bitching out Grogu and Luke and that nonsense. God bless. Well done. Let me stand up. Let me stand up for a standing ovation.
He was definitely at the bar before.
Let him go for it.
No, I love it.
This is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
From a Star Wars project.
No, Kenobi takes the cake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 100%.
No, Kenobi is better than this only because it's set in the Imperial era, and we got Nur, and we got Inquisitors, and we got some. I
disagree because they brought them back for that shit. Get
Nur?
the fuck out of here.
We got some other things there that I can redeem above this. Whatever this was, I just can't do it.
But who gives? Look, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck about Boba Fett? Kenobi's more important than him, and they ruined him more.
I care about Boba Fett. He's like
You
one
don't
of
care
my
about
favorite
you?
characters.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Badass bounty hunter. He's a Mandalorian.
Not
he's in the
anymore.
mask. Yeah, not anymore. He's a daimyo now.
And I don't agree with Ronnie. Ronnie may be trolling, maybe not. I don't think Kenobi ruined the Inquisitors, right? Kenobi might have ruined a Star Destroyer. Kenobi might have ruined other things, right?
We're not there
You
yet.
can't stop us, bro.
But all I'm saying is, in comparison to the shit show we got in 2022 from a content perspective, right? I prioritize Kenobi over Book of Boba Fett, and don't come at me with, no, the Mandalorian episode. The Mandalorian episodes were shit, right? They were shit because of how they diminished the 2 seasons that we invested in the Mandalorian. It's just nonsense, right? And that's why I'm not at all excited about Mando 3.
You were jumping so far ahead. Cool your jets, Vato Loco.
He's getting it out
We
of
got a
his
lot to
system.
talk about tonight.
Oh,
We got a lot to
scared
talk
Nicky
about
off
tonight.
already?
Okay. I wanted to hit this zombie box for 20 euros. Another super sticker. Thank you, brother. Why don't you say something so I can bring up a chat.
Let him support, bro.
I know. I just get a little self-conscious. I appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you very much. Again, please, you guys don't have to donate here, but I really appreciate it. We gotta pay these two somehow.
Pay me shit. Get out of here.
So did they say the best thing about Book of Boba Fett was Pelimoto, right? Did they mention that was the best part of Book of Boba Fett?
She drives me nuts.
What are you fucking talking about? The best part of it was Fennec Shan, and it shouldn't have been.
A Book of Boba Fett? No, the best bit of Book of Boba Fett was.
I'm not counting the Mando episodes because that's like
Okay.
straight up cheating.
All right.
That's straight up cheating.
I mean, that scene when he's doing oh my god, where is my brain right now? The Boon to Eve Classic and the modified N1. I was in heaven. I was so happy. I couldn't have been
what the fuck
happier.
you're talking about. That show
That's
was
Flying,
He
It's
built
the
the
pod race.
N1, and then for all the prequels, babies, they said let's do the whole race like we had. Ooh, this is pod racing. Let's do it with him in the N1. Yeah, great. Wizard.
It was great. It was Wizard, bro. I loved it. Okay. This
just reinforces how much they failed in this series. It's an absolute failure. For me, one of the most disappointing things we've gotten. It's just why?
What the fuck?
this sounds like
I don't even get paid to be here.
like an this show just felt like a last minute obligation to me.
Yeah, it did. And there were enough scenes in that show that you saw where there was stuff that was contradictory. You could tell that there were things that were hacked up when it came to the Sarlaac pit. There were a bunch of different things that just felt like the show was like, we got to get something out now. Like, let's get this out. What do we had? Well, we could work on it. Like, okay, get it out.
The Mandalorian is what they wanted Boba Fett to be.
Right.
And he walked all the way back. He walked all the way back, and he came back not with Slave One.
Welcome to the family, brother.
He came back on the goddamn Rancor. Why? He walked all the way
Because
back
Star Wars, Matt.
He walked all the way back to the palace, and he said, "You know what? I can fly back. And no, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna come back on this Rancor. Sure."
There should have been. I feel like if that was going to be impactful, we should have gotten a lot more stuff with like Danny Trejo and him training the Rancor and having it be
more
like,
Mexicans
okay,
in space. That's what we
I'm
need
gonna-
in Star Wars.
Like I'm going to make this an important. There's a reason why I choose to come back on the Rancor, right? Like there's some reason why instead of flying in the 42-ton death trap that is Slave One, like with multitudes of missiles and lasers and like everything you would need to completely annihilate shit.
And then the Rancor goes up, and it's like it looks like King Kong, and we're like, oh, surely not. And then behind the scenes, I'm like, yeah, we took our inspiration from King Kong. We thought that would be cool. I'm like, I just can't with this series.
It was cringe.
Cannot with this series anymore. Can't.
It was cringe. Yeah, it was cringe.
You're forgetting the worst part of everything. They
There's
neutered
more.
my boy Boba. I don't
That-
want to kill stuff anymore.
That goes unsaid for sure.
Like, yeah. When he picks up that little kitchen droid, he's like, I am Boba Fett. I'm like,
Listen,
what is
they
happening?
They did the Remy's kitchen scene in Star
Yeah.
Wars. They had the green
It's a rat!
chopped it up. The
You know-
whole running around was.
You know how I know this was
General
a
Grievous
last
ship?
minute?
Star
This was a
Wars.
last minute thing because the same guy that directed these episodes directed his return in Mandalorian, and like the difference is night and day. So that's
yeah.
why to me this is just like such a last minute thing. Like there's no way the same guy that wrote that badass return, even though he was fat in Mandalorian, it was
So-
The poor guy. He got so much shit for that.
Robert Rodriguez.
good, and he lost weight. Shaming works.
Robert Rodriguez directed what he was given.
You're not
Right.
right.
Right? Jon Favreau wrote a steaming pile of bantha poodoo. Right, and we were all like, "Oh no, Jon Favreau." Blah,
You can
blah,
use
blah.
real curse words in Star Wars now, Matt. You don't have
Yeah,
to say that.
I guess he was unsupervised. I would like to hope he was unsupervised, right? And then Robert Rodriguez he did what he did with what he didn't write it.
Well, who's supervising it that would have made a better decision?
Well, apparently nobody,
Yeah.
because if it's to be believed,
Filoni was too busy jacking off to Ahsoka, his scripts. Not gonna
if
be
it's to be
singing.
believed what Tamara Morrison said, right? Even when Favreau was off doing Spider-Man and all the nonsense, right? And Tem's like, let's do this, that, and the other. The underlings left on sets like, hold please, let me
Yeah.
call, right? And Favreau's like, we aren't doing that.
Yeah, they had to phone it in. Tamara Morrison is like, I think I should probably put my helmet back on because this doesn't make sense. And John's like, take the helmet off. Stop being a bitch.
I just, and then they put in those Mando episodes. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Matt,
know, dude.
again, that goes back
Bikes.
to the unpreparedness thing. That was definitely already shot, and they didn't have enough to put for a Boba show, and they just threw those episodes in. Like, hey, we filmed it. Fuck it.
Do you remember the arguments we used to have about the Mater bike gangs? People are like, it's a callback to George. It's American graffiti.
But that's
George
not
would have wanted
Coruscant.
this. I'm
It's not Coruscant. Like, you want to put that, I almost said a gamer word, stuff in Star Wars, you go to Coruscant. You don't go to Tatooine. It's so stupid.
Zombie Box Reviews, joining the family. Thank you so much, brother.
And somebody just gifted the memberships. Who gifted
That was
them?
him, too.
Oh, Zombie
Ooh, we
Box
got
just
gifted
gifted
memberships? Show me anything. That's the problem, is that if you're the one running the stream, it doesn't show up as anything.
Five memberships. Zombie Box. God
Damn,
bless.
Zombie
Five
Box. Thank
memberships.
you, brother.
So we got
you gotta do shit for your
Nova
members, bro.
How sick is
Nova
that? I
Bomb.
know.
Georgia
Oh, I have
Girl,
members.
Cody Eccles, Brian W, and Roland New.
Hell yeah. Dude, Zombie Box, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. That's fucking awesome. I've never been gifted subs on this channel. Sick.
Oh my god.
And before just so I can complete my rant,
Oh god.
right?
Go ahead.
That's because I have to.
Just.
Not only did they shoehorn those Mando episodes in, but there had to be Ahsoka. Of course, Ahsoka has
Oh
to
my
be
god,
there.
bro.
Of course.
Has to be there. With no backstory, with no just a friend of the family, right?
That might be the most irritating part for me, is that we didn't get to see like the first meeting of Ahsoka and Luke. Like that's
Right,
such an
it's
important.
bigger.
And
I'm
I don't.
glad
before-
they didn't put it
Hold
there.
on. This is what pisses me off. Before anybody says we're gonna get it in Ahsoka, I don't give a fuck. It is ruined already. That's it. I know they've met. I don't care if I see them meet in a flashback. It's not gonna be special to me. To me, they
Right.
ruined that as well.
Don't worry, Nikki. When the Ahsoka series comes and they do everything they can to sort of talk about what everyone wants to see from the EU, but not really, people will be hella pissed off about that. So just put a pin in it. Just put a pin in it.
Does anybody think this is actually going to happen? That the World Between Worlds is going to do anything to change anything in canon?
No.
Like, it's
No,
not.
they're just gonna throw that out so you can get blue balls by the possibility that it could. And that's it.
It's gonna be a big what if, and people are gonna be pissed off because she's gonna face off with Anakin at Mustafar.
Stupid. She
And
has to
guess
be in
what?
everything.
Guess what? She's gonna win, just like Kenobi did. Right? This is the whole point of it. Right? The whole point of it is, regardless of whether it was her or Kenobi or anyone else, what happened needed to happen. Right? And people are going to hate it.
You think so?
They're gonna hate it. I guarantee you're gonna hate it.
It's too
Really?
MCU-ish. It's too
100%.
MCU-ish, bro. That is not
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
not.
That's fair.
Like
100%.
I want to believe that it just like died in Rebels. Like when they knocked down the temple.
That was
Done.
it. Yeah. Big shout out to
Yeah.
Nick from Echo Base in the chat. Good to see you, buddy.
Boo. But yeah, it's just I don't know. They're gonna do that as like a cock tease. Like guys, not all is what
What's
it
up, Luke?
seems.
Good to see you, buddy.
Save us.
Maria's got it right. People are Ahsoka'd out, right?
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters until she started being in literally fucking everything. Why?
I know this is a funny
Dear
meme.
learner.
I know this is a funny meme, right? But somebody we know said, did we really need to have a youngest? Did we need to really have a baby Ahsoka in Tales of Jedi? Is that what we wanted to see? Who wants more Ahsoka?
She's literally Jesus. She is Filoni's
Didn't
chosen
bother
one.
me, but yeah, I mean,
Fuck
he's
that. I
you
don't
know,
give a shit
Ahsoka's
about
like
baby Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's like the in his eyes, like that's his Luke, right?
Yes,
That's Ahsoka.
that's his
And so
Anakin.
as he writes, yeah, he wants that to be obviously the next chosen one, but that's just not how it played out. So
we're gonna get Thrawn.
shout out to Rogue.
Hey,
We're gonna
Tom.
get Thrawn in an undead with a fleet of undead soldiers.
Do not bring up
I-
Thrawn
I
because you're gonna
hope-
trigger me.
I hope it's a Sith fleet. I hope.
Okay,
it's
all right,
a
look, we haven't even gotten into 2020. We haven't even gotten through the first fucking quarter of 2022. So
You
let's
I don't want to fucking talk about Boba Fett anymore. No.
all right, Book of
Please
Boba Fett is
don't
done.
Boba
Book of Boba Fett is done. Score out of 10. Let's score it because we're gonna do this out of all the shows and then round up Star Wars for the year.
Book of Boba Fett out of 10.
Out of 10.
That's fucked up, bro.
It is fucked up.
I can't read
doing
that shit. Fuck. I'm taking out the Mando episodes because it's
No,
not
gotta
fair.
be
No, you
included in
can't.
there.
He's not in them.
No, you cannot take
It's
them out.
part of the show.
It's a part of the series.
show.
So
Book of Boba Fett out of 10.
I give it a 3 out of 10. 3.
Okay, so Matt's 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Book of Boba.
Shit, man.
All right, Nicky Nicky out of 10.
Fuck. I'll say
Not a
shit.
number.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Okay, all right. We're getting good grades so far here. 3 out of 10 for Book of Boba. All right, and then X-Wing. Dude, that's actually a really good number. Like, I'm thinking 3 out of 10 because there were some redeeming qualities with Mando. Yes,
I'm
a
giving
prequel
points for
baby
the Mando
Moff.
episodes.
That's
it.
the reason why I gave it 3 out of 10.
All right, I'm going to stick with 3 out of 10 too. That's not very diverse and fun, but that's what we're sticking with. So, out of the 3 of us, it got a 9 out of 10.
That's not how it works.
That's not
Fuck
how
outta
it
here.
works.
Fuck out of here.
That's not how math works.
All right, and then we move on to the
Oh my
fateful.
God.
Wait,
faithful
actually,
show.
Before we move on, ask the chat. Ask the chat.
Oh yeah. I
Put some-
apologize.
put
Look at
some-
me being a shitty YouTuber. I apologize. Everybody in the chat, give me a rating. I'm seeing mostly the same. Actually, they
Keep
did it
in
without
mind,
asking. This
keep
is
in
why I
mind,
love my
chat. Look, shut up. Keep in mind that Kenobi has to objectively be lower than Book of Boba Fett, or you're wrong.
Not for me.
Period.
That boy Steve gives it
Boo.
a 10. Oliver gives it a 6. 3 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 4. Language. We swear here. That's
Fuck
just
that.
fine. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 5 out of 10. 7 out of
Ronnie's-
10 because the
oh.
Mando episodes carried.
Nerd
Not to a
Mafia-
7, bro. This guy.
Nerd Mafia liked it. That's okay.
It
No,
didn't
it's not
carry.
okay.
It was dragging a corpse. It didn't
That's
carry anything anywhere. It's dragging
By
a
the
corpse.
leg.
Monty liked it, 7.5. Wizzy's a 1. Okay, man. Even dude, you're the positive guy. 2 out of 10.
Jacob is a -10.
Oh.
That's so bad.
Luke himself gives it a 5 for only including the Mando and Luke episodes for Boba. Honestly, like the Luke stuff was my favorite. The Luke, I like seeing young Luke back. I enjoy
Trash.
it. I know it
Trash.
pisses a lot of people off, but I really like it.
Trash.
You can't change it. People are changing their scores.
No changing. No
Because I
changing.
told him Kenobi has to be worse.
No,
Oh,
for
I
me,
got you.
For
Okay.
me, Kenobi will not be worse.
So I mean, regardless, the chat's like it's a failing grade. Essentially, you average all that together, it's definitely a failing grade. But then, the show everybody was looking forward to. We got Hayden Christensen coming back. We got Ewan McGregor coming back. This is
What a
Obi-Wan
disgrace.
and Anakin. This, my friends, this was my low point. And you know this was my low point because I
Mine
went into a
too.
spiraling depression and stopped making content for like 3 months. I'm like, fuck Star Wars. I'm done.
This shit ruined me. This disheartened me more than the sequels. Period.
Yeah,
And I know
same.
the sequels destroyed the OT characters. But the thing is, for my generation, like the first Star Wars movies I saw, they were the OT, but I was able to see the prequels in theaters.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the era that I grew up with. So to see you bring back these Titans for this shit, bro, that shit broke
Yep.
me into like so many freaking pieces.
Same.
What a waste.
Same. This one hurt. So let's hear what Disney has to say. StarWars.com, I should say, has to say about Kenobi. Fans of the Star Wars prequels rejoiced as Ewan McGregor returned to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi and said the phrase we were all waiting to hear. Hello there. Set at the midpoint between the rise of Empire and Order 66 and the duel on the Death Star in Star Wars A New Hope, this Disney Plus limited series gave us a glimpse at a time Ben Kenobi's life previously unexplored in live action. The only thing that could spur him to leave his post, little Leia Organa. Little Leia Organa. So let's take a minute to talk about Kenobi. I don't want to start because there's a fair chance I might fucking rant for a minute here.
Fuck this show. Period.
Start now,
Like
Cheryl?
the only thing that I enjoyed in isolation from this show was like the final like encounter between them. But even then, he let him go. Like that's not how it works. If you guys were they fought again twice. What is I'm gonna start ranting. They fought again twice. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Oh, you guys just open your mind. Shut up. No. I grew up with the prequels. They didn't fight until the freaking OT. I don't care. And like, oh my God. They won me over a little bit, but again, they ripped off Rebels. That ending scene. When I start thinking about it too much, I'm like, well, fuck that scene. Like, it's just so triggering. The only scene I can say is rewatchable in isolation is the flashback and when they didn't de-age him. But it was, fuck this show, man. Fuck it.
So for me, Kenobi was twice as good as Book of Boba, right? So I give Book of Boba a 3. I give Kenobi a 6, right? Kenobi had for me
Above average,
many
you traitor.
more redeeming moments
Okay.
than Book of Boba did, right? And yes, I get all the criticisms about it, right? But I like the time period. I like some of the things they did with the Empire, right? I hate some of the things they did with the Empire, especially when I look at what they did with the Empire in Andor and compare it to what they did in Kenobi, right? But I get it, right? And when it all comes down to it, whether it was the story they should have told or not, there's something about the story they told with Kenobi and little Leia that really did resonate with me. And yes, I know some of it was comedic, and I know some of it
It
was
was a story that didn't need to be fucking told, Moff.
This-
That's the part that drives me the most.
That
nuts.
shit
You're like,
wasn't
why don't we
funny,
shoehorn
man.
a bunch of shit in that Kenobi should not be
We're
doing.
gonna
at all.
attack Matt right now.
guys,
Get him,
you
get him,
have to
get him.
understand. Think about how I always approach these things, right? The barrier to entry on this
Saw that.
series
Thank you,
was, should it ever have been a series about Kenobi and Leia? Absolutely not. Right? So if you can't abandon that barrier to entry, when you watch the series, I totally get it, right? But I put that behind, right? And I'm just evaluating it on the story they told and how it made me feel, right? And there are some things about it, especially in the last episode and some of the rest of it,
Kramer fucking nailed it, dude.
Kramer. Hell yeah.
that did work for me, right? So when I think about my experience and how it impacted me and how it made me feel, Kenobi versus Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett.
That wrench is about to just be gone right now.
For real, what the fuck? No shills. Get out.
He's trolling.
What happened? Book of Boba Fett makes me so angry, right? Even now, I'm so angry about it, right? Kenobi is just like, it's not the story I wanted them to tell, but there is something about it
Misogynist.
that worked for me, right?
He's lying.
But again, did I go back and watch the series? No, right? But I certainly remember more moments from Kenobi than I do Book of Boba Fett.
Well, I mean, of
It was
course.
cringy, and that was the best scene in the show, the clone soldier scene. That was it.
What scene is that? I forgot.
Well, there's two actually. So there's the Order 66 stuff,
Oh yeah.
which I liked in the beginning. That was cool. They
That's
still
such a
have.
weird
They
way to
still
open the show.
somehow they've not figured out that lightsabers are supposed to cut fucking through things instead of bouncing off things. That I will never understand.
That's baseball bats, bro.
And X-Wing,
oh
I
my
don't
God.
know if you saw. I just saw Ryan's comment flash.
He can wait his turn like everybody else. Okay.
right?
Right.
And it's and I get it. I get exactly what Ryan is saying. I get it, right? It's they didn't tell the story.
Liberty in the chat, y'all.
That shit's like a
We're
fever
looking.
dream for real. Like
It's not
I
a
think
story that
about it
didn't
and I'm
need to
like,
be
did this
told.
really come out
Yeah.
this year? It's crazy.
There were moments of dialogue. There was parts of the series that, again, I think about more than I ever think about Book of Boba Fett.
But is that a good thing?
I have literally fucking mind wiped that entire show from my brain. Like I have trouble remembering a lot of it because I suppressed it so
And you
bad.
know what's cringe about that too? They could have pretended to win people over even if they would have played some like John Williams music.
Dude, anything at all? Like give us something.
I
And
don't
this-
remember shit of music from that show. It was like elevator music.
Well, it's because John Williams only did the Kenobi theme.
And
That
it
was
wasn't good, man. I love him, but it wasn't good. That goes to
It
show
was
you the
not his
show was
strongest
so
piece, no.
uninspired. No, because there's no
And yeah,
inspiration.
Arcade brings up a good point. It's not a story that didn't need to be told. It's a story that never happened. They didn't fight Obi-Wan, didn't babysit Leia. It's not real. And the mental fucking gymnastics that I had to go through with people when it was talking about this stuff on the internet where they say, it doesn't impact
But
canon.
the
This has nothing
message-
to do with canon. This totally could have happened. I'm like, that is the weakest fucking argument I've ever heard in my life for the show.
No,
It was
have you
a
heard the
bunch
one
of useless shit.
where she said, like, they say that she sent that message the way she did because, like, just in case it got intercepted or some bullshit like that? Shut up. No. Pissed me off. That show just, like, destroyed me. Like, if you put a gun to my head, watch Boba or Kenobi again, it would be Boba. Because at least I don't give a fuck.
I will never, ever watch Book of Boba Fett again.
I'm
Ever.
not watching any of them again. I'm not watching
Me
Kenobi
either.
again. I'm not watching Book of Boba Fett again.
There are parts of Kenobi that I would watch again, right? But neither series was good. I don't mean to say that I think either. For me, a 6 is not a good score,
It's above average.
right?
We haven't scored it yet, though. Trust me, we're gonna get there. Awful shows, yeah, wipe my mind. Honestly, legitimately, after that show came out, I've been affected by Star Wars my whole life. I've never been more affected by Star Wars than Kenobi. Legitimately, it was.
Bro, me too. That shit was
so-
traumatizing.
It was fucking traumatizing, Nikki. I'm telling you, bro.
Shit, bro.
Like I honestly, I've like suppressed it, and people are like, "Man, you being a man, baby." Well, fuck you, man.
I am being a baby. It's
it
fucking
hurt.
Star Wars.
It hurt. That was my childhood, and they ripped my childhood out. And I know a lot of people felt that way about the prequels, but I'm sorry, you're wrong. So, yeah, Star Wars mansplaining for $9.99. Thank you, brother. You guys should listen to Nikki. She speaks the truth.
Hail Melvin.
She's a puppet for white supremacist. What did you? Somebody called you.
I'm a higher Latinx.
Yeah.
God, I can't even say that shit in jest. It makes me nauseous.
No, man. You get me canceled. Thank you so much for the $9.99. I appreciate you, brother. Let's get rid of those young guys.
Thank you.
Okay, man, I see a lot of grades in here. We haven't gotten there yet.
They're ready, dude. They're ready.
God, I agree. Hell is frozen over. Yeah, the fact that that made it past anybody at Lucasfilm and actually went to the fans is the most shocking thing in the world. And yeah, that's where the trust just...
I think they were desperate to release it.
There wasn't trust. I think I had hope. And then the hope just fucking vanished.
See, I agree with Ryan there because it is about canon at the end of the day for me more so than like story beats or whatever. Like you bring back Hayden and Ewan for that shit. Fuck you.
They deserved a lot better, man. They deserved a lot better, not only from and I do agree from a storytelling standpoint. Yeah, I mean it is better than Book of Boba Fett, but fuck, first off, that's not saying much.
So the interesting thing about this phenomenon, right, is I think both series, and I don't know, not like I'm there, right? But just given the press and behind the scenes and things we've seen, right? I think whether it's Book of Boba Fett or whether it's Kenobi, I think both series went exactly the way they wanted them to, right? I don't think they're like.
I don't buy that for Boba.
I was like, I don't think we fucked that up. I think they went exactly the way they intended. And Nikki, I'm with you on Book of Boba Fett. I think
the sabers were weird.
There was a bit of weirdness with Book of Boba Fett and those Mando episodes, which again, I'm very curious to see how they address in Mando 3, right? Because they have to address some part of that. And whether they just do a montage again, sort of like they did at the beginning of Kenobi to try and catch people up, I don't think that works, right? I think they have to do something else. So I'll be very curious to see how they do that. I sure hope that they don't just rerun those episodes to somehow smush them together in a weird way, edited, right? And that becomes one of the episodes of Mando 3, right? I hope they do something else.
Oh, they're all going to be in Mando 3. Every single.
You guys want to hear something interesting though that I just realized? We've been talking shit on the show here for quite a while about Kenobi. We have not said the word Reva once. Reva.
That's how irrelevant she is.
Never even came up.
She's fucking immortal, bro.
Yeah,
you could stab her in the pussy.
So I think the whole Reva part of it, right, and the whole, well, if it wasn't for Reva, right, Luke wouldn't have survived and all that. For me, that's like just a footnote, right? That's a footnote to the series that I just don't know.
My God, zombie box! Oh, shit. Stop, man. You've done enough today. Thank you so much. 50
He's
euros.
A generous guy. He's a generous guy. He's very nice.
Zombie. Thank you so much. I don't really know.
He's your newest fan, right?
I gotta find the one that you like, Matt. Where's the one? Oh yeah, the one you like. There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution to
X-Wing.
Thank you.
Shit fucking blows your eardrums, bro. Where's the one with that weird white kid? Where's that weird white kid?
I don't even know.
Bro.
Oh shit, I don't even know. Like I can't even tell you that. Like
so
that shit is so funny.
So did we rate it?
No, so we can go into the rating. Yeah, I just still think it's so funny that like we were talking about this for so long and like she didn't come up once. And then
because she's trash.
That was the whole basis for people being like, you just hate this show because you're a racist and you don't want a strong female character. She didn't come up once in that conversation.
Dude, I am dying for a strong female character. Trilla is fucking awesome in Fallen Order.
Oh Reva my God, she was so badass, dude.
Like, what the fuck is
on Nikki's doing? On Nikki's point, they did find her in the gutter.
Boo, shut up,
man.
Matt.
Trashy.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I mean,
okay. All right. Let's end it with the rating. All right. Hold on. I got to get into private chat so I can keep score here. Nikki for Obi. All right. What do you got?
Bro. I'm a 6 for Kenobi.
We can't go into negative, so just give whatever answer
0.
you choose. But
I'll give a 1. I'll give a 1 just because the goats came back for nothing, but they're there.
Okay. All right, Rister.
I'm a 6. You cannot say Book of Boba Fett was better than Kenobi. You just can't.
I am saying it.
I get it.
I
get it. I'm a 6.
I'm gonna do 1.5 out of 10.
goodness sakes, I can't believe you
Because
like,
of
Fuck
you
that
like
shit.
a bantha. You like, I can't believe you like that.
Because
more.
who's the more important character, Kenobi or Boba? Get out of here.
They ruined Boba more.
But who
all right,
gives
let's
a
see.
shit
Let's see
about
what the
Boba?
chat has to say about this show. All right, maybe we got a 6. We got a copacetic 6 here.
Talking about Star Wars.
We got a 0.5 out of 10. Daisy,
Ooh,
not a fan.
harsh.
Not a fan. Kay gives it a 4. You were just defending it. I'm surprised you gave it that low of a score. I'm really interested.
Wow, the scores are.
Because overall it's trash.
Who's in the gutter now?
She had that
All right,
great
Pink
accent that
Talk,
we hear in
Pink
space
Talk
all the
says
time.
6.
Yeah, it's really good. Georgia Girl, 0.
Oh my gosh.
Love you for
I'm
that.
with you.
Star Wars Mansplain for another $9.99. Stop, man. You guys are being too kind tonight. You're being way too kind. I'm a weird, almost 50 weird kid. Listen to Nikki.
Thanks, man.
You've been around as long as Star Wars has been around, man. This stuff's important to us. It really is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a channel
So
where I come
I
and
just
talk
have
about
to
this
say,
every week.
on Kenobi again. I just have to say, Darth Vader walking down the street, snapping kids' necks and all that. Nothing.
That was bullshit. That was bullshit. That was just a gotcha shit. Because then later he's scared of fire when his suit is fucking fireproof. Miss me with that shit. I don't care. He has Obi-Wan right in front of him. There's no way that some fire is gonna stop him.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. And drunk 3PO with a 3PO in your avatar.
Where's
We
your
got
Santa
bullshit
hat, bud?
Follow me on Twitter. But it could be worse. He could have the emojis too.
That's true.
He should keep it the same between the two. So
All right. So I knew I would be the lone man out on Kenobi, but that's fine.
It
I
just-
know that to be factually untrue.
It just makes me mad that they brought him back for that. It
Is
just
that
makes me
Nick?
mad.
Oh, that might be Coach. I don't know which one that is.
Nikki is wrong. Boba was the worst. I can't.
I Drunk
can't.
3PO, yes.
X-Wing is wrong too,
was
then.
the
I
worst.
can't. Yeah, I can't. I
According to
can't.
that logic.
I
You
can't.
you don't
dude.
bring back Ewan and Hayden for this shit. Bring
Yeah.
back Tamora for whatever. I love him, but bring him back for whatever. You bring them back since the prequels for this? F
That's
you.
like bringing. It's like bringing Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford back and never putting them back on screen, and then killing
Can you
one off
imagine?
in
I
the
can't
first
believe that
movie,
they.
and then
That's such a travesty. That is such
Guess who I can't wait. I can't wait for Ahsoka. Guess who's gonna be the third one? The third one who's denounced. Can you guess? Can you guess which one is gonna be the next one in their playbook?
I mean, I've been saying it from now. Fuck that show.
I'm hiding again. I put my lightsaber in the nether regions. Don't come for me. I'm Ezra. It's just coming again.
Fuck Ezra.
Be ready. Just be ready.
Wow, Dawn. That hurts.
Wake
Oh,
up.
you missed me at my
I mean,
bed.
we've been doing our best here on screen. I'm sorry that we weren't very
I
entertaining.
mean, she's probably about to go to sleep now again once we start talking about Andor. But
Yeah, so I mean that's the next on the list. So
where are
we
those
didn't- I didn't
fans?
really-
Get ready for
yeah.
those fans to come out of the woodwork now that we're talking about Andor.
Honestly, Kenobi was like all up and down. That was all over the place in the chat. There were people that I didn't see higher than a 7 though. 6 was pretty much the top there.
I think I was the top on that one, right?
There was a lot of negatives. There was a lot of negative numbers in there, but we can't do that. Okay, moving on to that. This was the high point of Star Wars for me for the year, which is not saying like a whole lot, but I was
We'll be
very
back.
happy. I was very happy with portions of the show. Andor took us by surprise in the best way. What an adorable way to start this article.
Oh,
From
remember,
the first
they
moment of
wrote
the
it,
Disney
right?
Plus series, it was clear Andor was going to be a new interpretation of Star Wars, messier and more grounded than we'd ever seen before, with nuanced characters and storytelling that felt fresh and modern. The militaristic bombast and dark side fanaticism of the Empire wasn't the focus here. Instead, it was the oppression of surveillance, unjust laws, and everyday cruelty from a tyrannical leader, power-drunk bureaucrats, and ambitious supervisors, which turned out to be, I already lost my spot, frightening in a completely real world way. Interesting. Frightening in a completely real world way, huh? What do you think they're referencing there, buddy?
It's, again, it's and lots of folks, have just talked about all this, right? And Tony Gilroy himself was like, the series was designed for you to get out of it what you wanted to get out of it from you're thinking on politics, right? Whether it's now or before or later or what have you, right? But other than actors and actresses telling you what they thought about it, it's up for interpretation. Right.
I feel like a lot of the problems that came along with Andor was stupid people opening their mouths before the show even came out. They're like, this is basically just Hitler and Donald Trump together. That's what this show is meant to represent. I'm like, dude, shut your mouth. Please do everything you can to stop talking. Just doing this. And it happens so often. And a lot of things, again, were taken out of context that Gilroy said. And then they'll take a little sound clip and be like, yeah, Gilroy's a fucking blah, blah, blah.
But Gilroy never really, it wasn't Gilroy, right? It was actors and actresses and other folks who were like, here's how the series made me feel, right? And you think about Gilroy, what Gilroy has said is he's like, I tried to keep it open-ended, right? I tried to put themes in that have come over time.
Well, that's the George thing, right?
It should
you
be
can interpret whatever you want, but it's a timeless idea, right?
And that's what he did, right? There's parts of it, the Bolsheviks, right? He never actually said there was anything about it that was more current day, right? But people have read into it, right? And so, I'm going to rate this series very high because I absolutely loved what they did with Andor, right? And
I what they did with the Empire.
I loved what they did with the character development, right? And you can't have the Empire without the rebellion, right? And they juxtaposed, for me, both of them together in such a cool way. And they showed how cynical both sides were and how absolutely maniacal and ruthless both sides of the equation were as it was all coming up. And so it was very balanced to me, but it wasn't the part about it that I think a lot of people had a huge problem with was no, that wasn't even it. Right? It wasn't romanticized. It wasn't romanticized in the same way as it was in the original trilogy. Right? As they were going through those movies and as they had that compressed time frame to tell those stories. So again, the barrier to entry for Andor is you have to get past the fact the show was called Andor, right? And it came from Rogue One, and it came from Disney original characters and all of those things, right? And there was no Jedi, right? There was no Force, right? The pew-pew was very constrained.
I hate that argument.
Dude, that shit drives me nuts. And Cody
Love you, Matt, but I hate that argument.
Cody, I got to push back against you just a little bit here, just a little bit, because I thought the acting from obviously like Forrest Whitaker is an absolute badass, but dude, Luthen was fucking amazing in the show.
I love Luthen. The only good thing about that show is Luthen.
Like, and if it's a spinoff of a spinoff of a spinoff, and we get a Luthen show, great. Yeah, I'm down with that. I would love to have a Luthen show because Skarsgård fucking murdered that role. Mm-hmm. And I don't think his acting was subpar at all. There were other, I mean, like, I don't hate Diego Luna by any stretch of the imagination. I still think he's kind of a weird fit for Star Wars. And I don't know. He
had one expression the whole time. I people praise the acting in the show, that's fine. But Diego Luna, I mean, he was good, but that look right there in the article, that was him the whole show. And I don't like the argument about the lightsabers and all that stuff like that. And that's why you didn't like it. No, at all. Like I was one of the biggest
Andy.
Proponent. Yeah, I was one of the biggest defenders of the show before it came out. I'm like, this is gonna be the best Star Wars, blah blah blah. And after those first 3 episodes, I'm like, what is going on?
This shit was ridiculous, dude.
Stellan Skarsgård was amazing.
Can't believe how upset people got.
Genevieve O'Reilly was amazing, right? The thing
that's what triggered me about the show. I love Mon Mothma. What did they do to her here? She's just worried about a fucking banking issue in her fucking apartment the whole series, except for the beginning when she was actually talking to Luthen. But the rest of the time,
I liked her in this. I don't know. I mean,
I did at first, but then they turned her into like Hillary Clinton.
To get the money into the hands of the people that need it.
They gave her that Hillary Clinton hair. I hated it.
No, what did somebody say? She was
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. Just what I want in my fucking Star Wars. So
Again,
Nancy Pelosi.
What an idiot!
whatever the comment was about the series being poorly acted, I also vehemently disagree, right? This series has the best acting in any of the... I'm not going to say the story is the better than the OT, whatever, but the acting is better, right? This has some of the best acting we've had in a live action Star Wars series, right? The problem with Andor is it didn't resonate with the fan base as being Star Wars enough, right? As being a memorable Star Wars story.
Órale pues.
Right? And so for that reason, as much as I love the series, right? As I always, Matt Rissman, always talking about, how does it measure up, right? You can't really say the series was successful when it's been another one of those where it wasn't unifying.
It was so up and so for me, I was up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down the whole way through. So at the end, when I look back on it, it's kind of like, it worked for me, but it was so kind of like uneventful, I guess. And like nobody was hyped on it. Nobody was talking about it. And so it was just kind of meh. It was just meh.
Well, the problem is you let your external influences dictate how much you're going to enjoy the story.
Oh,
How do you quantify that, Matt?
Well,
do you not remember me saying consistently as this show was coming up, I was saying the only fucking show you're gonna watch this year is Andor. This shit's gonna slap. Andor's gonna be amazing. I'm telling you, you're sleeping on Andor. I said that shit for months.
I just heard what he said, and what he said was, well, not a lot of people have been talking about it. It didn't really hype it up, and so I just heard the words that came out of his mouth, right? Which is fine.
During the show, people weren't hyped about it. People weren't excited about it.
Okay, hold on. Cody brings up a good point, Matt. So why do proponents of the show get really defensive about it? Like, what is?
I'm not really defensive about. I'm not really defensive about Andor necessarily, right? I'm defensive about the reason why people echo around not liking it.
But the same people echo the reasons why we should like it.
A lot of people, I don't. If you don't like it, don't like it, right? But to hear the feedback around, well, it wasn't hyped up, so I'm not going to watch it, or you know what, I watched it, but because a lot of people weren't talking about it, I lost interest, right? Those sound bites to me say, okay, they didn't do a good job capturing the audience.
Well, I think that was targeted for a very specific audience. That's the thing, right? I mean, Andor was not made for every freaking Star Wars fan out there.
And I have a bone to pick with you, X-Wing, because you're saying that people that aren't Star Wars fans should write it. Here's your freaking example. People didn't watch this shit, and he's not really a Star Wars fan.
Well, that's a long and complicated conversation about whether or not Star Wars fans should write Star Wars. But I always think it's better to get a writer who knows how to write competently and tell a good story, and then you can make it Star Wars. You know what I mean? As opposed to having somebody like fucking Bobby Rod, we're like, yeah, we're so excited about Bobby Rodriguez. He's doing fucking action figure stills in his backyard, and Book of Boba Fett's gonna be amazing. And then it came out, and it was like, eh.
So X-Wing, do you think Andor was incompetently written?
No, not at all.
They just picked the wrong character to center this around. I still stand by the point that if they would have done a Bodhi show, it would have been way more interesting because it would have shown him defecting from the Empire. You could have had Galen Erso back.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
This is just like him.
And you could have worked Luthen into that story too.
Yes. And Forrest Whitaker. It's just fuck.
I just think in an age where apathy is at an all-time high, and you make a very slow show, it's not going to make waves.
Yeah.
And it deserved to do well. It really did, because
imagine coming out after Kenobi.
Yeah,
that's rough.
So I don't know. It just kind of sucks, like Cassian Andor. A lot of people don't care about Cassian. I don't really care about Cassian that much, but everything that's involved with that show is the stuff that I cared about. The formation of the rebellion, Mon Mothma. I didn't even know who Luthen was, but the introduction of this character,
he's
Luthen,
great.
Was just it was like so interesting, and there's so much cool stuff in that show. Seeing the Ralph McQuarrie Star Destroyer was so badass. Like, it's so many good things. but it was just it was served on a platter that it didn't hype up the Star Wars fan base as much as I wish it had, and I understand why it didn't.
Andor is not the catalyst for the rebellion. If we're to believe new canon, it's Luthen, it's Mothma, it's Hera, it's Kanan. Andor was just a pawn.
Forget about Wade.
Fuck Wade.
People are going to be chanting his name as the rebellion is formed. They'll be in Coruscant City Center. Wait.
Knights of Melbourne.
At this point, I don't think it matters what show you put out.
Right on time. Worst show ever.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Not even hate videos on this show made any views. Like,
bro, you cannot think Andor is worse than Kenobi or Book of Boba Fett. Like, no.
It's not worse. It's just more boring, to be honest.
I think dude, if they had sprinkled in like a fair amount of action into that show, I bet you
there's a few episodes that I liked in Andor, but overall, it didn't for me, it just didn't justify the show overall.
I think it would have done a lot better if they'd have put some. I know somebody's gonna fucking get me for this on Twitter. If they'd put a little bit more pew pews in there, I think people might have been a little happier. But they also, for me as a Star Wars fan, I know this doesn't resonate with a lot of other people, but from the sound and prop department, they made mistakes, and in the music department, they made mistakes. That didn't make it feel very Star Wars.
Again, the startup of Andor sounds like the Windows PC like noise that you would get when like a screensaver pops up. I don't remember what it fucking sounds like at all. And I will reiterate this. I was an Andor defender before it came out. I'm like, the show's gonna be great.
Yeah, me too, dude. I was about it. Paul Blunt, the weird alien man. Hey, Rissman, Nicky Nicky has a nicer shirt tonight. You're the best dressed man on YouTube. Be better.
Great to see you, Paul. Thanks for being here.
He's wearing black, though. You can never go wrong with black shirts.
He got you, dude.
I'm out of character today.
What did he say?
Paul's one of our longtime favorites here.
He's like,
you fucking nerd.
All right, should we rate it?
Yeah, let's move on from this shit before I go to sleep.
That's Star Wars since Empire. I saw a lot of that. Okay, all right, let's get a rating then. Let me go to private chat here. All right, Nicky for Andor. Nicky on Andor.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because of Luthen.
4 of 10.
And Andy Serkis.
All right, Rissman, Andor.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll give it a 5. I'll make it average.
I already typed it in. It's too late. You submitted
type
your
it
answer.
Again.
No,
lazy.
You submitted your answer. Rissman.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Biggest score of the night.
Still out of 10.
I miss this is the series that I miss watching. So,
it's tough, man. I don't really know where to go with this. I'm at a I think I'm at a 7.5. I'm like a 7.5 for Andor.
Shit.
Nice. That's a good score.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. Dude, chat's going way too fast. All right, let's see. What does the chat think? We got a 9.5 out of 10.
I agree with Melvin.
8.5, 9 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9, 4, 3, 10, 9.5. Dude, this is all
I love
over
polarizing
the place.
shit. I love it.
It is all over the place. 2, Philip, you're never really happy about much. Monkey D. Luffy, welcome to the chat. I don't think I've seen you before. 10. Nice. And Snore. Ted's Nerd World. Not too happy with it. Okay.
But so far, I mean, just watching the score. See, Knights of Melbourne.
What a pointless character, bro.
Just watching the stories scroll. You know, it's
him and his stupid
so
ass mom.
It's been better, right? It's been the best of.
I didn't get the cereal scenes. The cereal scenes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eldridge. I'm so sorry. We're not good enough.
Oh no.
So, anyways, all right. Moving on. Blah, blah, blah. We
that ILM.
Jedi.
Wait, you skipped that ILM. This was good. The ILM documentary.
That's right. There was. I thought this was just like an interim. This was awesome. I thought this was amazing.
Really good.
It was the best thing that Lucasfilm has put out since they bought.
It's because it had nothing to do with them.
Basically.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a lot of the stuff that you saw in Empire of Dreams and documentaries like that. We got a lot of the, the early ILM days, and a bunch of people drinking beer and making hot tubs in a shitty studio in Southern California. But this really, I'm almost interested that they released this because it showed how much heart that the original Star Wars trilogy had. it showed how important it was to these people and how much they did to bring this universe alive. Which I just don't get when I watch
Makes you
documentaries
wonder
about. Yeah, I
what
don't
they're
get
doing
I don't
now.
get it when I watch documentaries about new Star Wars. I don't get the feelings. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. What do you guys think?
I'm a BTS hoe. Like I love shit like behind the scenes shit. So it's always gonna be
BTSO?
yeah. Why it's not a band, but I mean behind the scenes stuff. Like I love
Oh, behind the BT. Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I
dirty.
I love this. Not only did I love this series, right? But they use part of this in Andor cast, right? They use
Andor what?
They use practical models, right?
Yeah.
You know, the
Well, yeah,
lightsaber.
that's
tips
one thing I
and all
praise
that.
Andor for is that they fucking stayed away from the volume as much as possible.
Yeah, but that when the Arrestor class cruiser was behind that was models.
Yeah.
That was old school.
They did it in Mando too. They did it for some Razor Crest scenes. They did some of the old blue screen and send it down a wire, good old fashioned Star Wars techniques. And
Yeah, they went back to basics, and that's what this was all about, right? And how some of that worked, and that's why the volume has really allowed them to cheap out, right? On the special.
I just got triggered right now. I got triggered. I have to share this.
What does it say?
Gives us greater appreciation for the ingenuity and perseverance it took to bring the galaxy to life, commune with ghosts, and resurrect the dinosaurs. I just thought of what's that fucking absolute plank of a human that writes for the High Republic, Justina Ireland.
They're all garbage.
No, Christian Baber did write that, so that's our.
She is.
But are we gonna rate it? Or we don't need to rate it. I mean, for me,
it's a 10 out of 10 for me all day.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for me.
It has George Lucas in it. 10 out of 10.
Simp.
Period.
All right. Tales of the Jedi. So we moved on. We moved into. Actually, let's ask chat. I'm sorry. Did anybody watch that in chat? Did you guys watch the? Did you watch it? Let's give it a rating. Nobody gives a shit about it.
Behind the scenes, right? The ILM. Yeah,
it's okay. That's fine. It's only like the most important thing that's come out this year. All right. Tales of the Jedi took us deeper into the lives of Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku. I don't really have like a lot to say about this.
I do.
I'm looking forward to it, yeah, because I'm a little empty on it. So for me, I mean, the baby Ahsoka stuff was, I mean, it's kind of cool. You get to see like Ahsoka's home planet and parents. Like, okay,
ain't nobody give a fuck.
For me, yeah, it was all Dooku, man. We got Qui-Gon back. We got Liam Neeson. We got to see that portion of the story that really hasn't been told other than in books, where we get to see Dooku's fall. And, you know, kind of the events in the temple as Dooku's trying to tell them, like, bro, the Sith are back. I'm telling you, something's wrong here. And then Dooku dies. Or not Dooku dies. Qui-Gon dies. And then we see the turn, man. So, and of course, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, they kill Yaddle.
What a useless character anyways. All she'd served was to freak me out when I was a kid. Like, what's wrong with Yoda?
Grogu's mom.
Boo. The main thing I have to say about this show, it kind of shows what Filoni should stick to, in my opinion. Not to say he shouldn't try different things, but obviously Clone Wars animated era shit is his strong suit, which makes sense because that's what he was hired for.
Right.
Aside from the Ahsoka shit, again, I feel like that was just like a setup for her show because not only did they show her as a baby, like a freaking second coming over here, but they showed her as like a training with Anakin to remind you before the show why she's so strong and super powerful. Right. Aside from her fucking episodes, which pains me to say because I love Ahsoka like I used to. Like her story for me ends at Rebels. But the Dooku Qui-Gon stuff, that to me is just like such a breath of fresh air during Andor.
Top tier Star Wars, dude.
Yep.
I think that's a direct quote from X-Wing, actually. I got done watching the Dooku and I'm like, dude, this is top tier Star Wars. Like I was really enjoying myself.
Exactly. And they did some shit with the Ahsoka novel. It's just weird. I feel like Ahsoka was not necessary in this show whatsoever. They could have focused on another Jedi. I don't know.
He retconned himself, man. And I read the Ahsoka novel. Actually, I didn't read it. I had
have
Ashley
it.
Eckstein read it to me,
Yeah, me too.
which was awesome. It was
and I
super
hate
good.
listen, this is the excuse people tell me when I say that. Well, he didn't know that he was going to be able to do his own show. Blah, blah. That's his character. He signed off on that book. Period. I don't give a fuck.
So I know we're not rating it yet, but here's my opinion on
Yes, Maria.
Tales of Jedi. I give Tales of Jedi 5 out of 10.
For fuck's sake, I'm done. Goodbye. Have a great night, everybody.
Listen to why I give it 5 out of 10. I give it 5 out of 10 because of half of it. The Dooku episodes were amazing.
Coach doesn't drink, but I think he's been drinking.
The other half of it, shoehorning one more time Ahsoka into it.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm telling you, that was to set up her second coming.
Too much Ahsoka. Right? Why pick anything else? She's getting her own live action series, for fuck's sake. Right? You do something amazing with the Dooku backstory, and then baby Ahsoka and all this other nonsense, and then just because you can, you decide, full of Filoni, you decide you can fuck over the people who like the Ahsoka novel. Just because. Why not? Why not?
That's the second time they do that.
Why not?
Or the third.
Why not do it in these shorts? Fuck it. 5 out of 10.
Okay, we'll do a live.
Nonsense.
You know whose channel you're on right now? Like, I feel like
5 out of 10 on this nonsense.
Who cares if it's cartoon? It's the best shit since like Clone Wars season 7.
Well, you're a big cartoon girl. Like you like that from this side of Star Wars. So like when
it seems it's kind of like
Wars era. That's where your happiest is in there. In that,
because that's what they do best. It's kind of like the DC universe. Everybody would tell you their movies are shit, but their animated stuff is really good. Mm-hmm. And I think this is gonna be another hot take, but the best thing to have live action is Mando. And I say that because in season 1, even if they didn't introduce Grogu, I still think it would have been a successful show. People were hooked on it without the Force, without all this shit.
And I saw Nerd Mafia's comment, right? I am not an Ahsoka hater, right?
Neither am I.
But I am.
Now I am.
I am hating on it in this context.
I just think you don't like Dave Filoni, Nikki. Like, I think you're at the point now where you don't like Dave.
Bro, I used to be one of Dave Filoni's biggest fans. I've seen almost every interview that freaking guy has been in. And now, bro.
They're putting these
crap am I talking, Jay?
They're putting these shorts out. And they have to be about Ahsoka? That's fucked up. Right?
Leave that room for other characters, right?
Yeah.
Quinlan Voss, characters they know shit about.
She's getting her own series. This is what makes it worse. She was shoehorned in the book of Boba Fett, right? She had her start in Mandalorian. Boom, 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 boom. She's getting her own series, and now 3 of 6 of the hour and a half's worth of animated content is Ahsoka again, and then it fucks with the novel. Fuck you.
Because they're prepping you for her show. And listen, Maria, I agree with you.
Prepped, dude.
Grogu could be a Mando, but they overdid it at this point, is my point. Like, even if they wouldn't have put Grogu and Mando, I still feel like it would have been successful.
Ending channel, I'm depressed. Gonna start a hair loss club for men. I saw your video the other day. You got plenty on your chest. Just move it up to the top.
Oh come on. Is it still Coach? I thought it was Nick.
I don't know.
Coach.
I don't know.
No.
We need Dooku training Rail Avaros as Qui-Gon came into the fold. That would have been gold. Yeah, I mean, there's a million stories they could have done instead of more Ahsoka. But man, people really like Ahsoka.
I know people tell me it's called Tales of the Jedi. No shit, but she was never really like. I don't think she was like full.
Nah, she was used and abused. We know that. Like, she was never.
I would love to see more of her, and they kind of gave us some of her like backstory in Clone Wars too. I think that would have been much more interesting. If you want to put a woman in the front and center, do Ventress. We never get to hear about her.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. They do a little bit on Star Wars Celebration.
Wait.
We didn't rate it.
Oh, shoot. We got to rate it. My bad. Sorry. I'm moving too quick here. Sorry, everybody. All right. Oh, Nicky Nicky on Tales of the Jedi. What do you got?
The only reason I don't give it a higher score is because the Ahsoka shit. Even though I used to be a big fan of hers. So I'm going to give Tales of the Jedi probably a 7.
7 out of 10? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. High score.
I'd rewatch it.
5 out of
Tales
10.
of the Jedi.
5.
5
I'll
of
never
10.
watch it again. 5.
Just because you're angry about the space taken or what?
Yeah, it was wasted. Wasted opportunity. 5 out of 10.
Jedi. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. No, I'm gonna give it a 6. No, shoot. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because of the Dooku stuff. It makes me so happy. I don't care if I have to deal with other shit. If I get that content, I'm a happy baby. Let's see what the chat has to say. 5 for Ahsoka, 10 for Dooku. Yeah, it kind of levels it out. 6 out of 10, 100 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
I'll accept shilling for the show because it's like Clone Wars.
Yeah, there was some stuff to love there. That's
Clone
wrong one here.
Wars sucked.
The first season sucked for sure, though.
It was all the same over and over and over.
That's George for you.
Monkeys dropping 10s, man, the whole time. Ahsoka 3, Dooku 9 out of 10. Isn't it funny that like this is obviously a shared feeling that a lot of us are like compartmentalizing? It's like the Ahsoka shit doesn't count. If none of that was there, this would have been a 9 out of 10.
Actually, I have a question. I cannot be the only one that compartmentalizes live action Ahsoka with animated Ahsoka. It still hasn't like connected for me that it's the same like story.
Oh, don't worry, they'll take care of that one.
Oh, fucking great, bro.
You about to get slapped. I'm gonna hit you in your mouth,
I
man.
know everyone loves Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, because it's God tier Star Wars. It's great Star Wars.
Listen, Clone Wars is not perfect. There's a lot of garbage in there, but it's like universally beloved because it was made by George and it just added fluff to the prequels. It wasn't until Dave Filoni took over and like Disney took over that they added way more context that didn't need to be there. But
yeah.
Well, maybe if he did a better job with the prequels, he wouldn't need it. Clone Wars.
Well, maybe if he did a better shut up, man. No.
You guys see how many celebrities we've had in the chat tonight, dude? Drunk 3PO showed up. Ryan Kendall showed up. 80 Edits is here.
Don't
yeah,
fan
none of them
balls.
showed up for your. Never mind. Keep going.
Don't fan their balls.
Keep going.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, Felicity, you're right. The Leku length on Ahsoka, I'm gonna continue to complain about it till they fucking correct it. Okay,
I
'cause
remember how
Rebels
mad people were. You remember when
I
they
was
were
one of
looking
them. I love Rebels Ahsoka. I don't give a shit. I know that show gets a lot of hate, but I love Rebels. Clearly. But
no, I was talking about when the Grand Inquisitor came out. People were like real mad
that
about the Grand
egghead?
Inquisitor,
Fuck
and
that
then
guy.
he came back. He came out in the Kenobi show. He didn't look that bad. He had, they
He
Well,
looks
they fixed his
horrible in the
eyes,
Kenobi
right?
show. Get
They
the fuck
fixed
out of
his
here.
eyes. They
Put
fixed
some
his
makeup
eyes.
on Matt. He could be the fucking Grand Inquisitor. Fuck that. They didn't
you
even
don't have to
try.
put that much makeup on, bro.
Oh, he just needs to put white face paint and he's an Inquisitor. They didn't
Sharpen
try.
his teeth a little bit. You know what I mean?
Keep going.
That's awesome.
Keep scrolling.
All right.
Scroll
So
the
yeah,
shit.
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Scroll
they
the
did some
shit.
Star Wars celebration stuff. Kind of like, all right, yeah, okay. It was cool when we got Hayden Christensen and Ewan back on a stage together. That was super sick.
When I look back on it now, I'm pissed off.
Yeah. So we got hyped for all the big announcements on Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, Star Wars: The Bad Batch, and more. So obviously anniversary for Attack, awesome. We're getting some cool hot toys. And then the High Republic celebrated an explosive new beginning.
What the fuck was that?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't care. I literally could not give less of a shit about the High Republic. Like I
Me
said, I
either.
gave it a fair shake. I read 2 of the books and I was completely disinterested. And then the second I heard, I don't remember the direct quote from Justina Ireland, but she was sitting on a panel somewhere just being the usual sea bag she is as a human.
Sea bag.
And yeah, just said something dumb. Princess and the Scoundrel came out. That's right. I won't accept this because I already loved the book.
Wasn't that some fan fiction shit of like
Princess
them
and the Scoundrel?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you see what's back here in the backpack? It's the Halcyon.
Oh,
You see
fuck.
the Halcyon in the background?
Just call it. I don't know what it's called. I just call it the Shield Cruiser because of Melvin.
Yeah. So we got some comic stuff. Oh boy, that's right. That was this year. The
Where's
Galactic
Jay at? Yeah,
Star
that's
Cruiser set
his specialty
sail.
right there.
I try
That-
to have him on my channel. He doesn't want to come on anymore.
Bro, he's on your channel. What are you talking about? This shit was garbage. Period. Like I don't think they realize how much money they're losing by not incorporating other stuff from Star Wars. And this is a perfect example of these fucking people that tell me all the time, watch what you like. You don't have to watch the new stuff. Well, I'm going to Disney and all I'm seeing is the fucking new stuff. I can't escape that shit. Even if
You're
I wanted
forced.
to. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
You will comply.
Fuck you.
You will comply or you will
That's
starve.
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I took a couple trips to Disney. I went to both of the Galaxy's Edge parks in both Disneys, and yeah, I was looking forward to doing a live stream and walking around and being like, we're gonna find the good nuggets in here. And honestly, there was almost nothing from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy.
Just Chewbacca. Poor guy.
There was well, I mean, the characters walking around, yeah, like you have Chewbacca. They put the Millennium Falcon on there, but they put the sequel radar dish on the Millennium Falcon, which fucking ruined that for me. And then the only thing that's left from those original trilogies is basically like Tauntauns and Wampas. They're like, look at the plushies we made. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
It's garbage.
And then the
It's bad.
lightsabers. That's pretty much it. There it is. Thank you, John. Yes, the courtship of Princess Leia. Courtship of Princess Leia. That was the most fun I had at Disney.
And you know what's funny? Obviously, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I am Avatar fan, but I prefer Avatar Land over Galaxy's Edge. Like,
I
100
did.
times over. Yeah.
Dude, I walked into Pandora Land and was like,
Dude, that shit was magical. You can ask Jay. I almost cried on that fucking ride, the Avatar ride.
I was looking around. I was all
Not
stoked
the
drinking green
trash
beer.
ride. Please tell me,
Oh,
Nikki, it wasn't that trash Navi River Journey. Please
No,
tell me.
no. It was
Navi River Journey for the win.
Navi
for
River
the win.
Journey is a
Best ride in
Trash.
Pandora.
trash.
Best ride in
Trash.
Pandora, bar none.
what a terrible take, but anyways,
Oh.
Show Cruiser 0 out of 10. Next.
Yeah, I don't know that we really have a lot to talk about here. I think it's been said in ad nauseum. We have spoken about how fucking bad of an idea that was. We got the
yes.
Lego Skywalker saga.
That was a fun time, at least.
Yeah,
I
it
enjoyed
lasted for all of what, 3 or 4 days once it came out. Then everyone's
That
like,
is true.
done.
Yeah, the hype was there for a bit, for a couple weeks.
Of course, he's gonna say that.
Do you mean current Star
I
Wars?
will send you to Jesus.
Obviously, current Star Wars, yes, but
Current Star Wars, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I enjoyed this game. I think I only played the first 2 of the sequel trilogy, and I was like, I think I'm done. I didn't have any interest in playing the Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, we got the news about Jedi Survivor coming out, which I'm very excited about. John
Please be
Williams
good.
turned 90. My God, bro.
please live to 200, John Williams. Love
He
you.
needs to. We need to, like, more than anything, we need to freeze something of his DNA just so we can, like, try to recreate this human being. Because, my God. Oh, there he is. He's all frozen. There. Our hero Han Solo.
Han Solo, yeah, that's the bread. Yeah, that's Han Solo and bread.
That's actual bread.
Yeah.
That's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Big fan there. Disney Plus took us back to Tatooine and Disney Gallery, the Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return. I did not watch either of these.
Neither
Did
did
you
I.
guys watch them?
And
I
that
did.
says a lot because I love behind the scenes shit, but I couldn't even bring myself to watch this.
I didn't watch
watched
them.
them.
Yeah, I didn't watch them either. God, we're fake fans. Okay, here we go. The Acolyte
I watched
cast
them.
was revealed. You guys excited for this show?
Oh no, here we go.
I'm super excited. I'm a woman and I can't wait to feel seen as a Sith.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right back.
I'm excited for Latinx culture in the Acolyte for sure. Really excited for that.
This shit's gonna be trash. And everybody hypes up Leslie Headland because of her show Russian Doll on Netflix. I didn't even finish it.
Fuck Leslie Headland. I'm sorry. This is one of those things for me where, and I've had to talk with like a couple other people on a project that I'm involved with that are like, well, Leslie Headland, exactly. You got to watch Russian Dolls. You can't judge her on just this. I'm like,
Fuck that show. I didn't even finish it. It's so
I
stupid.
don't like this person as a human being. That's the bottom line. Like, it has nothing to do with their body of work. This human, I fucking dislike a lot. And so it's tough to go into a project and try to be open-minded, not only in the current state of Disney Star Wars, the person that's running it, and then seeing the set pictures, it looks like the fucking Hunger Games attached to the High Republic. No, I'm not excited about it.
Bro,
This looks horrible.
that fucking Wookiee looked like Chewie and Drag straight
Loved
up.
his little top bun. Oh,
That shit was cringe.
dude.
Bro, listen, again, if the show is good, I will be the first one to say, yo, you know what? This shit is this is really good. I thought it was going to be trash, woke garbage, but it's not. I have no hope for the show. Maybe it'll help its chances, but listen, of course I want to see a badass female dark character, whatever, which is why I love Trilla and Ventress and all these people. But when you give me Reva and a whole fucking row of acolytes from the the High Republic era?
Yeah,
where they're gonna probably ruin fucking Plagueis, okay? Which you're gonna get the.
I swear to God, if they put Plagueis in the show, I swear to God.
They will. You know they will. They won't be able to help themselves. They need the. They
don't have my permission to do that. So here's the bottom line.
Write them a fucking
they don't
letter.
Have my
then.
express permission to put Plagueis in this. So if they do it, it's gonna be great for the program. I'm gonna tell you that. It's gonna be great over here at X-Men.
I have to say, on Nikki's point, I think you're going to get the female dark side Force user sooner than the Acolyte. So let's hope that goes better.
There's no reality in which there's no reality in which there's only male Sith, just like there's no reality in which there's only female Sith. So why this is such a touted feminist project is fucking beyond me.
Don't worry. I think her master will be male, right? So I think you're gonna get it.
Yeah, and he's gonna get cooked, and he's gonna be freaking like his balls are gonna be ripped from his freaking scrotum. That's
we don't appreciate damaging language like master here. So if you could refrain from using that.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
Leader. I don't think they're gonna cuck Ray Stevenson, right? So let's just see what happens. But I don't know about what's going on in. The Acolyte, the Acolyte, I'm reserving judgment, right? I'm much more excited for Skeleton Crew than I am for the Acolyte.
Oh, me too, because that's gonna be a show that doesn't really like slap you in the face the way Acolyte will. Acolyte's gonna come in and claim they know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to the Sith. They don't know shit.
They're gonna bring Yoda in. That's the part that's gonna drive me the most nuts. Is that they're gonna drag Yoda into this.
You don't know shit about Sith. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid. I almost said a gamer word again, but fuck this show. Prove me wrong is all I have to say. Yeah,
they're not. They're gonna prove us right, and I'm really looking forward to it because I'm finally gonna be okay talking crap about something again, like Kenobi. And this has nothing that ties me in that's gonna upset me other than bringing Yoda back in.
What is this shit? Galactic House.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
This probably be better than Acolyte.
Yeah, this is gonna be the best show. You got a pit droid talking to some Loth cats and baby Jawas about.
Well, that already happened, right? So this is 2022. So that already happened.
Are we gonna talk about what's coming out? Because apparently 2023, as every year has been, is gonna be the year of Star Wars.
Yeah,
everybody loves to tout.
Yeah, so if you want to, there's that IGN article. If you want to, X-Wing, there's that IGN article that talks about 2023.
If you start flaming the Acolyte or Ahsoka, I will be putting in a request for big time off ASAP.
Well, take his wrench away and boot him out, right? I mean,
no, he's going to take some paid time off just to enjoy the content that I'm going to be putting out. You know what I mean? You don't need the show. We already had a true and better story of the Sith behind the scenes. It's a Darth Plagueis novel. Yeah, that's a story I wouldn't mind seeing back in.
I cannot wait. I am so. The only thing that excites me about the Ahsoka series is how much people are gonna hate what they.
You know what excites me? Yeah. This guy. That's the only thing. Yes.
Wait, we'll get our Chopper, Nikki. We'll get our Rebels characters, but what people are gonna hate is the apparent bastardization, right?
Where's that IGN article?
Of the Timothy, I can send it to you. Of the Timothy Zahn.
I don't want to talk about Thrawn because
Talk about it, baby.
Hold on. I'm gonna start crying.
Oh my god.
Real tears. I'm gonna start crying. If they fuck up Thrawn, man.
You can't. Oh my god. I can't wait. The content is going to be amazing.
It's gonna be garbage. What I've been saying about Ahsoka is that they're gonna freaking ruin past canon, current canon, and future canon.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that true? I used to be scared of it when I first started, and then now I just throw bombs all day.
Right, X-Wing, I put it in the group chat.
Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, what to expect in 2023. All right.
Can't fucking wait. It's gonna be great.
They're censoring content off of people cussing? Is that true?
That was a mess. That was a shot at me. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh my. Well, just mark it as 18 plus. It's fine.
Lots of celebrities here. Yeah, we'll fan your balls. You guys are amazing. Mando 3 might be the best show next year. So I was interested to talk about this because this is something that you clearly have an extremely strong standpoint for Mando 3. It's the thing I'm most excited about. I'm excited for Mando 3 more than Ahsoka. This is what I'm looking forward to the most out of anything. What's your projection here? Because I saw some of the leaks and some of the stuff that's coming out I'm not going to be excited about, but what's your take here?
They're, in my opinion, right, the first two seasons of Mando had a particular formula to them. Right. And whether you adopt it was Paper Moon or not, whatever, fine. Right. But it was, Din and then Grogu out on adventures, getting him back to his people, get him trained, blah, blah, all that stuff, right? That was really the prevailing thing about the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. And yes, they sprinkled in a little bit of lore, right? We saw some cloning tanks, and Ahsoka made an appearance, and where's Thrawn? And then, of course, they brought Luke back at the end and all this stuff, right? But that was all around getting Grogu to his realized purpose. And then once again, back to Book of Boba Fett, right? They ruined it, right? They ruined all of that by saying, you know what? Okay, it didn't really work out. R2's going to taxi Uber him back in an X-Wing, going to send him back to
2 seasons of work.
Irresponsible guardian.
In a side project.
Going to send him back to be with Mando. Okay, fine. So we've now realized the story of the Paper Moon and all of that, and now all of a sudden we seem to be on a trajectory. Now all of a sudden it seems to become about Mando. He's got to redeem himself for taking the helmet off, and now not being a Mandalorian anymore, and now all that stuff, and we gotta reclaim Mandalorian. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Right? And I don't mean the lore masters amongst us. I don't mean the super fans amongst us who have seen all the backstory. Whether it's been the Clone Wars animated, whether it's been Rebels. I mean, generally speaking, what they set up in the first two seasons of The Mandalorian, now in the third season, who gives a shit? And they're going to put him in a mech costume and all this other nonsense, right? What is his purpose now? What is Grogu's purpose in the story? And who cares about Mandalore? Who cares about all of a sudden it's Bo-Katan? Who gives a shit? Right, so I see a Book of Boba Fett writing disaster.
I can say you're wrong there, because Mandalore has kind of been like Filoni's wheelhouse, especially with Clone Wars. I don't think Mandalore is going to be something. Hold on. I don't think it's going to be something revolutionary, right? But I think it'll still keep like people's attention at least. But what did sour it for me was the whole Grogu shit. If it wasn't for Book of Boba, maybe I'd be looking forward to it a little bit more, because
right.
Well,
they pulled out the rug from under you, right? I mean,
and not only that, but the whole awesomeness, right, of the TIE bombers on Mandalore and her telling the whole story about that, and the K2s and all that was again in the Book of Boba Fett, right? So it wasn't done in the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. If you hadn't watched the Book of Boba Fett, you missed all of that, inclusive of sending Grogu back in Uber X-Wing, right? And now I'm kind of like, because of all of this, I'm over Mandalorian season 3, because you've ruined me on this other nonsense. That's me.
Okay.
Luke is gonna show up at the end. Did you miss me? No, get the fuck out of here. We've seen enough of you already.
If Luke shows up again,
he will.
3, I will be so over.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that meltdown. You'll see it here first, live on X-Wing.
Absolute meltdown.
Highlight Drunk's comment. And you know what?
I think
I'm going to be totally.
I was about to say, look, I will put a $5 bet in that we're going to get something with her. this season.
They have to address it. They have
They
to.
kill her off screen. They're gonna kill her off screen at the.
You think
very
off screen?
beginning. Yeah, off
Do
screen.
you want to put a $5 bet in on or off screen? I'm
I'll-
gonna say
I'll-
on.
I'll bet you $50 it's gonna be an off screen.
Are you gonna take 50 to my 5?
It's not gonna be online. It's not going to be online, dude. It's gonna be an off screen.
I'll tell you
So-
this: it doesn't matter what they do because everybody knows the reason why. So they just
Off-screen.
pick and choose their
I'm
battles.
still pissed off
If
about
they
it. Just because they
mention it-
resolve it in the story doesn't mean I'm fucking happy about what happened.
If they mention it at all, it will be off screen.
Interesting. Okay. Fair bet. Fair
So
shake.
stupid. I hate it. I hate them. Jerks.
like to see
I'm gonna roast that shit. I miss
So
him.
So that's why I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
that's
rant,
great.
but that's why I'm not into Mando 3. Couldn't care less. I could not care less.
The only thing that has my curiosity peaked about Mando 3 is just seeing like Mandalorian live action, but that has nothing really to do with his story. It's just like
Well, that's the thing. So they're transferring from the Grogu Mando story to the Mando story. That's what season
Yeah.
3 is. We're not doing Grogu anymore. He's along the ride. Now they have a problem because they ruined Grogu's storyline. What should have happened is Grogu should be with Luke this whole time, and Mando should be off doing his
Do-
Mandalorian stuff.
Do we really care about the Mandalorian or Bo-Katan?
I do.
Why? Why do you care about the Mandalorian?
I love Bo-Katan.
Why? Why do you care about them? Why? Under the context of the Mandalorian series, why do you really care about either one of them?
it's a content machine, Star Wars. So is
Dude, that's-
Marvel.
Culture Casino put out a tweet earlier that was like, a lot of streaming franchises are dealing with this and this and that and stuff like that. And that's the bottom line: is streaming franchises are literally slowly suffocating these nerd IPs until they
Yep.
have nothing left. Star
They're
Wars
just
is
content
dying
machines.
slowly. They're
Crank it
dying
out.
slowly on Disney Plus. The Witcher is dying on Netflix. Lord of the Rings is dying on Amazon Prime. It's everywhere. And I'm with Rissman when I say we got to get back to the big screen. We have to get back to the big screen.
Excuse me. I've been freaking screaming that from the mountaintops.
I don't
Star
think
Wars,
I've ever heard you say that.
Star Wars and Marvel are both movie franchises. Period.
Yeah.
But do we all remember the reason why the Mandalorian series exists in the first place? Do we know why? Can you answer this question for me? Why does the Mandalorian series exist in
To
the
sell
very first-
Disney Plus, which is why I signed up for 3 years of that
Because
garbage.
it was the launching point for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing a stream. We're good, and the first thing we're gonna do is the very first live action streaming content, and it's gonna be the Mandalorian. And then we started watching it, and we're kind of like, "This is okay." And then Grogu showed up, and everyone was like, "Googly eyes." Right?
Well, yeah.
Googly eyes over Grogu and this whole nonsense, right? And we have from there continued on loving the series. And again, I don't mean to say the series has no merit, but remember, the series was largely around the ship's broke, the ship's out of gas, the ship's crashed.
That was a video
again.
game.
We
Yeah.
got it. We got to get Grogu back to his people. Okay, the ship's broke again. Oh no, now it's out of gas. Now I've just crashed in the water. I have to get the ship fixed. The story they were telling was a very simple story,
It was a serial,
Yeah.
but it was all there was.
not the Andor serial.
And but that
there was
proves that you
no-
didn't need to do a complicated
There
story
was
to hook
no
fans in.
competition, right? It was simply written, but it was all there
Not a
was.
fucking
Matt, there's
word.
still no competition because like people that are Mando fans, even if they didn't watch Kenobi, Boba, they're still gonna watch Mando season 3.
Of course, and I'm going to watch it too. I'm just saying, of all the ones that
Look
are
at how pretty
coming
that
in
is,
when
dude.
we're having a 2023 conversation, right? Of all the ones that are coming right now, for me, the least exciting is Mando 3.
Damn. Really? What's more exciting? Skeleton?
Ahsoka.
Oof. Not me.
Exciting in what sense? Like,
Yeah.
As far as a news story, they lost me. They as a lifelong 40-year plus Star Wars fan, they lost me on Mando's plot. with Book of Boba Fett. If they had never put those 2 episodes into Book of Boba Fett, I wouldn't be ranting like I am. But because they chose to do that, they fucking lost me.
Bro, here you go right there. The scene that this shit just showed. That's what a lightsaber does. That's why everybody...
Yeah, it cuts through a literal fucking stone table.
That is why everybody dick rode The Mandalorian, because it was like you're watching this boring ass Book of Boba Fett show, and out of nowhere, here comes the Mandalorian just slicing people in half.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like
you're like, oh, that's what that does.
Yes. And it's that's why Book of Boba will always be tainted.
Obi-Wan saber bounced off a stormtrooper in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Don't forget the bitch slap.
Unforgivable.
Don't forget the bitch slap on a stormtrooper's helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, I don't want to harsh the mood any more than I have, right? I want Mando 3 to be, I want Mando 3 to be great, right? But for me personally, I'm so over it. I am so absolutely over Mando season 3. Over it.
Okay. So not a high rating on the pre-show. I don't think we have to actually go any further on ratings. We don't have to pre-rate shows, but I want to look really quick. So 3 average 4.5. My Andor took a big chunk out of it. Okay. Matt, can you add and then divide this stuff in private? Because I can't math. My brain's not working. You do this better than I do. Let's get an average of 2022 Star Wars just from the 3 people here on this platform. How did Star Wars do in 2022?
I forgot. You know what I forgot?
Huh.
Bad Batch is next week.
Yeah,
dude, we didn't even talk about Bad Batch.
We should talk about Bad Batch.
It's the least. This is what the most positive thing I'll say about Bad Batch. It's the least offensive Disney Star Wars show.
Probably not going to piss anybody off.
It'll just bore people, maybe, but for the most part.
Just scanning. So 2 things, right? Scanning through the scoring. I would say, from our perspective, right, 2022, this might not be surprising, given what we saw in the chat, also, right?
Yeah.
It was hit or miss, right? It was a 50-50 proposition.
Hit or miss is like a pretty kind way of putting it.
Well, what I'm saying is the things that people liked, they really liked. And the things that people hated, they hated them. Right? And so I think from Bad Batch season 2, right? They're going to do, and again, we've got, there's 16 episodes. It's going to be over 13 weeks because we've got 2 at the beginning, 2 in the middle, 2 at the end. So basically there'll be a month of overlap between when Mando comes out in March and the end of Bad Batch season 2. I think it'll be a nice diversion. Right? I think people will be a little bit more into it ubiquitously from a fan base, if they're watching it, than they were from Tales of the Jedi. But do I think it's going to be unifying in any way? No, but I think it's going to be a nice diversion.
Right? He's welcome on my channel whenever he wants to come on. He knows that.
Hell, Melvin.
He's very good.
Yeah,
but,
so, you know,
but I think 2022, we thought it was going to be the year of Star Wars, right?
No, man. I remember so many fucking live streams at the end of 2021 where this is our... I said this on a stream, right? It's the Cowboys, right? This is our year. They say it every freaking year. And then what happens? Dak Prescott blows his leg out. They get nowhere. They don't even get into the playoffs. It's a horrible team. That's Star Wars for me every single year. This is our year. Look at these projects coming out. Andor and Kenobi. This shit's going to slap, dog. I'm telling you. Like, follow, and subscribe.
I'm going to say the most tolerable thing of 2023 for like disillusioned Star Wars fans is going to be Mando 3, just because it's going to be super basic. Ahsoka is going to ruin canon. It's going to piss people off. Bad Batch, no one's going to give a fucking shit about. And what else is coming out? Skeleton Crew? Is that next year? Or is it the year after?
We don't know.
So
we might get Visions 2, right? We're thinking about getting Visions 2 somewhere in the year.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a freaking movie out by then.
25? It's supposed to be.
Well, let's not even get into the next movie, right? But I think if we're going to get Skeleton Crew, I think it's going to be a December 2023 release, right? But I've given up on the movies now, right? Because the next movie that might be coming in 2025 if we believe what's been said,
That's what I heard.
it's gonna be a sequels era movie.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about all the rumors. Yeah.
It's gonna be
They're rumors, though.
It's
The
gonna
only
be
way-
it's gonna
the
be
only way-
Lindelof's movie. It's gonna be
No.
Lindelof's movie.
No, the only way I'll
100%.
accept it is if Ray freaking dies. That's it.
She's not gonna die.
Fuck.
It's not.
I don't know anything
It's in your
about the
head.
movie. I don't know anything about the movie, but it's gonna be Lindelof's movie, and Ray's not gonna die, right? So we're gonna have to give up on the whole. It needs to be cinematic, right? It needs to be a theatrical experience. As much as I agree, I'll just wait for them to bring out Rogue One again before the next season of Andor, right?
Looking forward to that. Yeah, the re-release,
next
the
movie we're gonna-
re-release
the
of Rogue
next-
One.
The next new movie we're gonna get is gonna be a sequels era movie.
You
gonna
lie.
be
You lie like
trash.
a pig.
It's
You lie
I
like
am
a
a I
pig.
I am 100% correct.
X-Wing, you know why he's right? The
Why?
Shield Cruiser exists. Galaxy's Edge exists.
God, you're not wrong there. That's not going away, is
So
it?
they have to, they
they're
have to.
not putting and everything we're getting on Disney Plus is not sequels era. So
Bro, I would watch a show about Chopper any fucking day. Freaking day of the
100%.
week.
Yep.
So they're
I'd have my
not
little
going-
chopper with me. Wah, wah, wah.
they're not going to compete with themselves, right? You're like, we're putting out all this non-sequels era content on Disney Plus. Our next theatrical experience
Ain't nobody going to the movies for some
is
sequel
gonna
characters.
be
No.
sequels content.
Kenobi would have made a killing if it was a movie, and it would have been way better because they would have had to have cleaned up that shit. They need to go back to movies, bro. Star Wars was meant for the big screen. Even George Lucas said this, and I know he wanted to make shows and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if what was that show? Was it 13? No, that's the video game. The Underworld
13,
show that he was
13?
gonna make. Dude, that crap would have been so like cinematic. Why didn't they pick that
13
up?
was a game.
No, I know. But I'm talking about the show he was gonna make in Coruscant. It's on the shelves. Just pick it back up and freaking finish it.
There
What
is
is
no
wrong
source
with them?
material, Nikki.
And the
Die.
comment that
Really, if
Maria
you have
just
to.
made is a distinction without a difference, right? Whether you call it a sequels era or whether you call it just past post sequels.
Bro, I don't give a
Right.
fuck.
It's
If
good.
it's-
The sequels characters will make an appearance.
Of course, they're not. No one's ever really
Right,
gone.
so I don't care. Again, distinction without a difference. It's
Shut up.
not going to be the movie that we would have liked to have, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah, Underworld.
No more movies. No more movies.
I say get rid of streaming. Put your money towards movies. Give us something to talk about. I'm so tired of Disney Plus right now. I don't even know. I don't even know. Look, excuse me, guys. We've been running for almost an hour and 45 minutes. I think this is one of the longer late nights that we've ever done. Had a whole mess of people in here. I've enjoyed it like crazy. Before you leave, give us your overall rating for Star Wars in 2023 out of 10, or 2022.
Is
out of
it
10.
better or worse? I want to see better or worse than a 5. Were they just
Wait, you mean
average,
overall
or were they
rating
above
for-
average?
Overall rating, every project we got, 2022. Are you happy as a Star Wars fan? Give us a rating out of 10. Where does it land in terms of what you got as a fan? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I'm about to hate half the chat right now.
We'll see. I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
Okay, aside from Star Wars, though, what's your most anticipated thing for 2023? Like in general.
My tax return, probably.
What? Your
Yeah.
Say that again?
My tax
said
return,
it's-
maybe.
Shut up, you freaking loser. I'm talking about freaking movies and TV shows. Name something.
I think Oppenheimer could be good.
Oppenheimer's.
Yeah, Oppenheimer could be good for sure.
And I am very interested to see what they do with Indy 5. I really am.
That's like a morbid curiosity kind of shit.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, like let's see how this shit plays out because the trailer, some of the stuff that I saw.
Bro,
in
the trailer
was like-
was Rise of Skywalker all over again. It was like the Last Jedi trailer, kind of like hype shit.
but we're CG.
I'm looking forward to the Super Mario movie, Guardians 3.
Oh, Super Mario movie, yeah, and Guardians 3. I apologize.
I
Guardians 3
can't
I'm
get
excited
behind because the voice, right? The voice, I can't.
about. Let's
You've had this argument, Rissman. You know what? I'm a lifelong Mario fan since I was a kid. I'm sorry, I love his voice, but to hear that for an hour and a half or 2 hours straight, Eventually, you're gonna want to kill yourself. Like, to hear
All I'm
this
gonna
guy
think
talk.
about is Terminal List. I'm like, that dude's a freaking murderer. I'm just gonna think about Terminal List every time I hear.
I am older. I'm older than Super Mario Brothers, and I just can't get past his voice in that fucking.
Maybe
You know
they'll give
what,
us.
though?
They'll finally give us Grand Theft Auto, the new
The
Grand Theft
Super
Auto.
Mario
I'd be
movie
excited for that.
from '89 is still a classic for me with Johnny Leguizamo. But,
Oh my god, it was so good.
so good. And what
John
else
Leguizamo was
said?
a freaking powerhouse back in the day.
Dune
He was in
Dune
everything.
2. I see Dune 2 in.
This is gonna be great.
Coming out next
That
year,
would be
right?
sick. I was a
Dune,
huge fan of the first
saw
Dune.
Georgia girl
The-
said it. Dune 2. I
If
forgot about
Felicity's
that.
still here, she's gonna hate me for this, but I'm also looking forward to the Flash movie only because they haven't
Yeah.
cut out his cameo yet.
Felicity is
Michael
Is it
Keaton.
Ezra?
No, fuck Ezra. I'm talking about Michael
Okay.
Keaton. I need to see him again as Batman just once. And if they haven't
Not-
cut out his
he's not
cameo,
going to be. Keaton's not going to be fucking in it. I couldn't
don't
care.
do that
less.
to me.
I couldn't care less about fucking the Flash or anything that DC.
Keaton is my Batman.
DC is dead. Or if you want to talk about a dead franchise for real, it's DC. Whatever James Gunn is doing,
That does not come out next year.
fuck that.
It'll come out in 20 years, Jay.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
really looking forward to the next 13 years getting hyped up on Avatar 3.
Mario's gonna be great though. And I think, you know what? I don't know if you guys saw when you went to see Avatar, the trailer in 3D. It looked good in 3D. The Mario
Dude, it
trailer.
did. Yeah, honestly,
I think I
they
might
do
do
it.
that.
It's easier to do it, I think, with like the CG stuff to do the 3D
Oh, hell
well.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
It didn't hurt my eyes at all. Some of the Avatar stuff hurt my eyes a little bit here and there. All right, everybody. That's going to be it for the stream. Thank you, everybody. There's still 48 people sitting in here. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful night. Big round of applause for Moff Rissman and Nicky Nicky coming out and making the stream what it was. I appreciate you guys. I love you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to
Oh, yeah,
everyone.
last stream of the
Thank
year. Are you gonna
for
shoot-
Last stream of the year, man. So
Listen, let's
Wait,
hope
real quick.
Let's hope 2023 doesn't suck as much as 2022. Come on now. Come
I
on.
mean, it
Give
might,
it
but-
up for 2023. Not
Listen,
suck.
it might,
it's
but
much
fuck
worse.
it. Cheers to that. And is there any highlight for you guys for 2023? Real quick.
Yeah, hold on. I got to crack one and I got to cheers you guys because this has been a freaking year. It's been a year for me. It's been a year for Star Wars. Cheers to the chat. Cheers to my co-hosts. God bless you. Drink yourselves into oblivion. It's finally over. 2022 is over.
And 2023, let it not suck as much. Okay.
Amen. But it will. It's okay though. We'll get
All right, kids. Stay safe. Have a good night. I will see you in 2023. We'll see you guys
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Peace and love all.